Welcome back to the channel, viewers. So our original plan for my trip to Alaska was to help Brandi move into her housing in her remote village in Brevig Mission. She has since found out her housing is not going to be completed as she was told. She went out to Savunga, another village on St. Lawrence Island, and has worked out there for the last couple weeks. And I was supposed to meet her in Nome this weekend, and then we were going to fly out to Brevig Mission on Monday and move her into her housing there. But it's not going to be ready. I've already got the rig scheduled to be worked on at the local service department, so I'm still going to make the trip to Alaska. Instead of 1 week, I'm going to spend 2. Hopefully that'll give them time to get the rig fixed and ready for me when I come back. But I'm just going to visit with Bran. She is scheduled to go to another village, Unalakleet, and work out there for a couple weeks to a month. And then hopefully her housing will be ready in her village. So I'm still going to go. I've got to get it finished, packed up tonight, and drop the rig off tomorrow and head out to the airport. So I hope I've got enough warm clothes. Good morning, viewers. So we are dropping the rig at the service center to have the window repaired while I'm off to Alaska. Have that back there repaired. Hopefully they'll have it done in the next 2 weeks. But I forgot my charger. So, leave this here. So hopefully they'll have that done in the next 2 weeks for me. They said it shouldn't be a problem. Kind of works out. So we just dropped it here. It is 10 o'clock in the morning. I'm supposed to be here at 9. Conveniently late, and I think my lift is coming at 1:30 for a 4:30 flight. So getting things done. Go finish getting my package, my luggage all together at the home base, and get ready to go to the airport. Okay, so finished packing up here. My flight's at 4:30. My lift will be here at 1:30. It is 10 till 1. So go get these outside ready to go.
Are those muffins in a bag?
Yeah, I'm taking your mom some muffins.
Oh wow. She really likes the crystals.
She likes the blueberries.
She likes the crystals on top.
The crystals on top, yes. So I safely made it to Seattle from Atlanta. Now I'm in the layover process to go from Seattle to Anchorage. It is 8:30 Seattle time, and we start boarding at 8:45 for a 9:25 flight. Puts me in Anchorage around 12:15 in the morning. I made it to Anchorage. It is 12:25. This is baggage claim at 12:25. Actually, there's one all the way down there that had our luggage on it, but mine's going to Nome. I just have a carry-on, so I'm waiting on the Hilton Garden Inn shuttle bus to come give me a ride because I got a 10-hour layover. After breakfast, I left the hotel, headed back to the airport, hopped on a plane. 2.5 hours later, I landed in Nome. Yes, finally reunited with my sweet angel. We hopped into the cab. I was a little nervous. It was held together by duct tape, but it got us to where we needed to go, and that was to lunch. Yes, airport pizza, one of the few choices to choose from in Nome, but it did the job. It filled our bellies before we headed back to Brand's apartment. How much snow are we supposed to get today?
3 to 5 inches, I think. I think that was here. I've looked at so many different villages too. I'm confused. But,
It's coming down pretty good now.
Yeah.
At least the wind's not blowing as bad.
I mean, it looks like
Yeah, I guess it is. It sounded worse earlier. So we just left Airport Pizza for late. What time is it?
1:53.
Yeah.
Feels late.
A late lunch.
1:28. I'm sorry.
I don't know what time it is.
It's only 1:28.
This time changes
Sorry.
for the birds.
Sorry.
But Brandi got fries. I got a French dip. It's pretty good. So they canceled all the flights out of Bering Air today while we were over there dropping that luggage. So hopefully we can get out tomorrow. What's that?
I won't be sad if we have to stay here together another day.
Yeah.
Because when we get to Unically, we have to go to work.
This is the corporate housing here at Nome. A set of apartments. Pretty large living room. It's got large, decent sized bedroom. Laundry room with a half bath. Full size bath. And then another bedroom. So not a bad little apartment for corporate housing. It's got a draft in the front bedroom and a little bit in the living room area, but it's not too bad as far as letting in cold air. So, cuddle up on the couch and watch some more TV while we can.
Because I don't know what Unically holds. I don't know what that housing has.
Fingers crossed, we'll see. So that is the hospital, Norton Sound. It's probably 200 yards,
But you can't cross the tunnel.
but you can't cross that because you'll sink in the snow in the wintertime. So you can walk out to the road and walk down, or you can call a cab. Which is what we're doing now. We're waiting on a cab. We're going to take some of the luggage over to Bering Air before we fly out to Unicleat tomorrow, because Brandi's going to work for the next month in Unicleat.
Maybe a month.
Maybe. So
You're coming straight across.
here comes our taxi cab. Got that luggage dropped off at Bering Air, swung by the store, grabbed some last minute items before heading out to the village, and then took a pizza back to the apartment and just watched the sights of Nome. From dump trucks dropping off snow to snowmobilers scooting across the frozen tundra. And then we watched some cross-country skiers. What appeared to be a high school team practicing right outside our window. We made it back to Bering Air the next morning. I started looking around. I said, man, these planes aren't too bad. Then I was told to go outside and find your plane.
Said the second one.
I'm not embarrassed to say that I was a tad bit nervous putting my large self in something smaller than a 737 for the first time. But these two guys, they got us to where we needed to go. So Brandi's at work, and I've got to go to the store. Now, getting to the store is not as simple as just grabbing your keys, hopping out, getting in your car, and driving to the store. In these remote villages, unless you live here full-time for years and years, you may have a vehicle. Most of the people have four-wheelers or snowmobiles, but for temporary folks, it's just your feet. So, like this morning, I walked with Brandi to work. It doesn't get daylight till about 9:30, maybe 10 o'clock here in Untitled and the 1st of February. So it was dark. So I walked her to work. It took about 15, 20 minutes. Her clinic is actually on the other side of the village from her apartment. I think she said it was like 0.8 miles according to her fitness program on her phone. So it wasn't terrible. There's no hills. It's all flat. It was just cold and it was snowing this morning. So we got her to work. And I realized I need to go back to the store. We went to the store last night after we flew in here to Untitled and picked up a few items, but I realized we need some seasonings. We thought there was some salt and pepper here, but it's empty. So need some seasonings to cook some dinner tonight, and as well as some scrub brushes for the sink. The ones that are here are no longer any good. They were kind of sour, so I'm going to go to the store, and this is kind of the method. Instead of grabbing your keys, you got to grab your overalls or your thermals and get those on and get dressed to go to the store, even though you may already be dressed. So get all bundled up, and we'll head out to the store. Now, as far as my layers for today, I have a pair of sweats on, some wool socks, a t-shirt, a long sleeve t-shirt. It is only, I think it's was like 12 degrees outside. So I don't have my thermals on today, but these, I noticed this morning, these bibbed overalls are lined, and I was actually sweating. So they are very well insulated. They're Arctic is the brand name of these overalls, and they work very well, very well. And then I have my waterproof insulated boots. So in addition to my Arctic's bib overalls, I also have an Arctic's insulated heavy coat, and it is hot, very hot. So it does its job well. So let's go to the store. So this is the view from our front porch, or from Brandi's front porch of her apartment. The airport is all the way at the other end of the village that way, as well as her clinic. And then the mouth of the river is at the other end of the village here. There's also where the store is. Her apartment is above the Peace on Earth restaurant, which is kind of convenient. They've got the typical Alaskan wilderness food of pizza and sandwiches and hamburgers. So it's kind of convenient to have a restaurant right below the apartment, but that stuff gets kind of old. So let's go to the store, get some seasonings to make a homemade dinner tonight. Just over that wall is the frozen Bering Sea. This roadway connects to another oceanfront roadway. So just over that wall is the Bering Sea. And you can go walk on the beach if you like. But don't get too close to the water. That's what we were told. Ravens are a very popular bird up here. I told Brandi they were black seagulls, but they're actually ravens. They're flying all over the place. So we made the trek down to AC's, or the Alaska Commercial Company. It's the name of the local store here in Unalakleet. There's actually two. Unalakleet is a larger village, so it has two stores. This is the larger of the two stores. It has a very small produce section, small refrigerated section, 4 to 5 aisles of dry goods, and then there's a homeware section with furniture, appliances, four-wheelers, and also some clothing. Not every village is lucky enough to have a store. It's just dependent upon size, but the ones that do have stores get deliveries once to twice a week, depending on weather. Round trip, 19 minutes. As soon as I hit the landing, it was 1 mile from here to AC's, which is the Alaskan Commercial Company grocery store, and back. So AC's from the apartment, not too bad, 20 minutes. In winter blizzard conditions, kind of, sort of. It's not as windy today, but the next couple of days is supposed to be high of -17, low of like -30. So those are going to be cold. Feels like what? Negative what?
-60.
-60. The actual temp's -40. It feels like -60. It's so cold that as we were getting ready, I noticed this morning that the condensation around the door is frozen. Even on the little window here is all frozen up. So I hope we can get the door open. If not, Brandi will have to take a day.
Was it in sociology?
So, no, it was in English or something.
Oh, okay.
Michaela had a score come through that didn't update, so we were trying to communicate with her what's up with her score in English. She was checking on, so anyway.
I think it's about time to start bundling up.
Guess we have to bundle
You don't have to walk with me.
and do the
I can do it by myself.
do the mile walk. Just under a mile is what she's got this morning. I have the 1.5 miles.
Because he's so nice. He walks me to work in the -60.
I was going to try to go to the store, but we'll see how frozen I am. The condensation from my little face mask freezes around it and then around my hood of my coat, so I have little ice pellets that form. So we'll see how much ice pellets is. I don't know.
When you come by it?
I think it's doesn't open. It opens at 9. Oh, I don't know about that other little store. I haven't been there.
When we walked by it yesterday, there were cars parked there.
There's people in there, so I'll see.
Yeah, we can do it on my own.
Okay, let's go get bundled.
And it's like,
So it's like negative 20 something, and it's time to go get Brandi from work. So let's walk to the clinic. You know it's cold when your breath freezes on your face. There's my rod. Or there's my fare. This is the clinic. I don't think there's a real ambulance in there. We returned from the store with that small bag and those 2 boxes of groceries. Probably maybe 15 items at the most. $135.
140. 138.
Plus the mile walk in negative 50-degree temperatures.
It's cold.
This is fun stuff.
Stock for the week. That's for sure.
So today is a winter storm warning here in Untitled. The sun just come out for the first time, but there's like, I'm not sure if you can see the snow is blowing across the road out there. Wind gusts are between 35 and as high as 60 miles per hour. And it's snowing, but I think they only said what, 1 to 3 inches today?
Today, an additional inch tonight.
So there is snow falling, but it's not like a whole lot. But the wind is so rough out here. It's just blowing the snow around. So it's a good day to stay in and watch some TV if you got it. Thankfully we do. And not go out there. Off in the distance over there were the mountains, but they're covered with the clouds that have rolled in with this storm. It's supposed to break overnight, so and actually supposed to warm up tomorrow. I think it's going to hit 10 degrees, so heat wave. I'm going to go find a blanket. I've been communicating with the service department where the rig's at via email because my cell phone doesn't work here, and Brandi's Alaska phone is kind of intermittent in this particular village. But we got an email that they haven't even started on my rig yet. So I'm supposed to leave here in 2 days, weather depending, because this winter storm is playing havoc here. And if I can get out of this village back to the lower 48, I don't even know if I've got a home to come home to. So we'll just have to play that by ear. Stay tuned. Let's see if I can get out of the village and the status on our rig. If you like what you saw, give us a thumbs up. Consider subscribing. Hit the notification bell. As always, safe travels and awesome views.
That's not all, folks.
Welcome back to the channel, viewers. So our original plan for me to visit Alaska Welcome back to the channel, viewers. Flight leaves in 3.5 hours? No.
Bye. Y'all have a good day.
A hot dog hat. Little boy son in my hot dog hat because of Mickey Mouse.
Eyeballs?
I can see you.
Can you see my eyeballs?
Barely. Mine don't close up like that.
Is that how it's supposed to be? Just my eyeballs?
Yes, I think so.
That's ridiculous.
Well, it's negative 40 outside, so your eyeballs will appreciate that. Feels like what? Negative what?
Negative 60.
You all snow?